Part 7 of the CR250 build. Today we're going to be cerakoting some engine parts. We're doing the outer and inner clutch cover, and we're doing the ignition cover, as well as powder coating the head, and we're also cerakoting the triple clamps. So we're kind of like getting right into it. We have everything all set up, so we're just going to spray the ignition cover and the outer clutch cover in burnt bronze. So I guess let's just get right to that. That's what they look like sprayed out. 15 minutes out in the open, and then they go in the oven at 300 degrees for an hour. Alright guys, so the parts are baking. They've been baking for a little while now, and if you look inside there, you can't really see. They look awesome, especially the clutch cover. The ignition cover is a little spotty, but I think it'll look pretty good once it's done cooking. Alright guys, so here you can get a closer look. This is them fully baked. They're cooling off right now. As you can see, the ignition cover is kind of spotty, but the clutch cover is flawless. And I'm kind of like splitting this video into 2 days. I'm going to pick up tomorrow with the triple clamps and inner clutch cover, because those are going to be an air cure, and it's going to be a black. But I just don't have time tonight to finish all the stuff, so I'll pick up with this video tomorrow. Here's a better look at the clutch and ignition cover. You can see the clutch cover turned out really good, and as I said before, this ignition cover was plastic, so we kind of had to like sand it down, and it just kind of like brought out those scratches. But all in all, I think it still looks really good for it being a piece of plastic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up the booth again, because we're not spraying the inner clutch cover right now. I'm doing that a little bit later. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to powder coat the head, and we're going to powder coat it in this illusion red right here. So yeah, let's just get to that. Alright, so first things first, we got to slide these Cerakote pieces over so I can powder coat over here. So now that's held in place right there. Now I have a good area to spray the head. Alright guys, so since it is powder coat, it's a thicker surface than Cerakote. So something like the spark plug threads are going to have to be masked off. And then also the gasket surface under here, all this I masked off. And then as well as where the radiator hose goes on there. And then also these threads, or they're not threads, but they're just holes, but I'm going to mask them off anyway, just to be safe. So I have these plugs here. Just dump them out, and I gotta find the right size. Should be these ones right here. Yep, so that one fits. So it looks like I don't have enough of these plugs to plug those up, so I am either just gonna try to mask it, or I'm just gonna leave them how they are. So I just ended up deciding to leave them bare. I think it'll be okay, because the studs are kind of, they're not like loose, but there's a little bit of wiggle room, so it should be okay. But something like the spark plug threads, that's definitely going to have to be masked off, or else you won't be able to thread the spark plug in. Then I also plugged the area where the motor mount bolt goes through, so just to be safe. But like I said, I don't have enough plugs for these 6 holes right here. So it's already pre-baked. So we'll get it set up on the rack over there, set it up in the booth, and then we'll set up the powder coat gun. All set up on the rack here. Powder coating gun is all set up. We just have to plug it in, attach the ground lead to the head. But as far as that illusion red powder over here goes, I've never used it before, so I'm excited to see how it performs. But I can see in there, you probably can't see it on the camera, but it's like the highest metallic, like candy look that Prismatic has, without doing like a base coat of like super chrome or something that matter. So it should be super like shiny and look really awesome. So let's charge the air compressor, plug it in, set the PSI, attach the ground lead, and we can spray. Alright guys, air compressor's all charged up, part is ready to spray. PSI is set. We just have to plug it in, attach the ground lead. And also, when you're spraying powder, you probably saw me wearing it in my last video. You definitely want to wear a respirator, or you could even go even further and wear like a full suit, or even like goggles, and you know, anything to protect. But anything to protect your body. But the biggest thing is to protect your lungs with a respirator. So you want to put this on. Obviously, my voice is going to be muffled. Plug in powder coating gun. Attach the ground lead. I'm going to attach it at the back of the head here. You're not really going to see it. Alright, that's attached. And now we can spray it out. Alright guys, parts all sprayed out, and here you can see really what I'm talking about with that metallic. There's like sparkles all over this thing, but the real test is to see once it's baked. So let's take it off these hooks and put it in the oven. Alright guys, parts in the oven, and I'm baking it at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And guys, while that's baking, I'm also going to do the clamp for the front brake master cylinder. It goes on the bars. And I didn't sandblast this. I just want to see what the difference will be, if there is a difference at all, in like not sandblasting it versus sandblasting it. I believe it'll turn out better if you sandblast it. Obviously, it creates a texture, and it's a better surface for powder coating. But, I mean, this is a really small part, so if it does get messed up, it's not going to be that noticeable. And I just want to see how it turns out when there's no sandblast media on there. Alright, guys, so the head's in there, and it just finished baking. It didn't turn out the greatest, so I think I'm going to have to spray a second coat. So what I'm going to do, I have an infrared thermometer right here. It's about between 230 and 250. So I'm going to wait until it gets down to like maybe 170, 180, and I'm going to do what's called hot flocking. So I'm going to spray the powder on there, not because it's grounded to the part, but because the part is hot and the powder is attracted to it. Alright guys, the second coat is in the oven, and I'm going to do the same thing, 350 at 20 minutes. Alright guys, so as you can see, the part is done baking, and that's the second coat right there, and it turned out much of the same. So I ended up reading up on this color, and I ended up finding out that you need to get a clear coat in order for it to come out like in the pictures on the website. So I'm either going to have to order that clear coat, or I'm going to have to get something else that I can use a super chrome base coat and then apply the top coat, which that would include like re-sandblasting and stuff. So I'm probably just gonna get the clear and then finish this up a little bit later. Alright guys, so we're gassing out the inner clutch cover right here. Now we're gonna spray it with this black Cerakote right here. It's called Glacier Black, and it's just a air cure product. You don't have to bake it or anything, and we'll be doing the triple clamps with that and that inner clutch cover. Alright guys, I'm gonna tape off the gasket surfaces on the inside and right here on the clutch cover. I already did the water pump, and then I'll tape off this right here with high heat masking tape, and then we'll go ahead and Cerakote it. Alright guys, got the Cerakote in the gun. We're just gonna spray out these parts. Alright guys, the Cerakote's all sprayed out, so it's an air cure, so we have to let it cure. Just kind of sit here for like a day maybe, and let it cure. But I'll come back to you when it's all dry. Alright guys, so it's starting to tack up. It may still be a little wet, so I'm not going to touch them right now. But I'll come back to you in the morning once they're like fully dried. It takes like 5 days to cure. So I may not put them on until like 5 days later, or might not even handle them until 5 days later, but we'll have to see. But I'll update you in the morning and see how well they tacked up. Alright guys, so it's the next day, and I finished the bottom triple clamp right here and greased the bearing, and it actually turned out pretty good for one of my first time Cerakoting. And then if you come over here, this turned out really, really good as well. And so did these pieces as well. And then I'm just waiting for this triple clamp to tack up a little bit more. And then hopefully we can get it on the bike. Alright guys, so the two triple clamp Cerakoted triple clamps are dry. And I also greased both the bearings. So we're going to install them on the bike, and we're going to torque the head steering nut and also torque the triple clamp bolts once we put the forks on. Alright guys, so I got the triple clamps and forks on, torqued the triple clamp bolts, the pinch bolts, to 14 foot-pounds, and torqued this steering head nut to 72 foot-pounds. Now, those aren't OEM specs. I'm going off of the specs from when I built the KX over there. So it's on there, and then now what I need to do to finish this video, I have to wait for all the gaskets right here to put on the engine over there, to put all these covers on and get this video finished up. So basically this video is just, majority of it's going to be the Cerakote coatings, and also just putting those on, triple clamps and forks, and like almost finishing the bottom end of the CR250. I didn't replace anything, I just coated the engine covers. So we need to wait for those gaskets to come in, and then we can finish up this video by putting the bottom end of the engine together. Alright guys, so I ended up powder coating the head right here, and I did it the right way this time. I actually had to get a clear powder for the red to activate, and I think it looks awesome. Then I ended up doing some other parts over here. I did the master cylinder cap, the clamp for the bars right here, and then I also ended up doing the two axle blocks right here for the rear axle. So now, to finish this video, we just gotta wait for the gaskets to come in for this, and then we can put these covers on the engine over there, and the bottom end will be all done. Alright guys, it's a few days later, and I ended up getting the gasket kit in. It's got every single gasket that I need. I'm not going to be using the one for the middle of the cases because I didn't end up splitting the cases because the bottom end was okay. And here's the red oil filler plug. So the first thing we're going to start with on the bottom end over here is we're going to put the inner clutch cover on, and then we're going to do the water pump after that, and then the outer clutch cover, and so on and so forth. Alright guys, so I got to unpackage the gaskets, and then we're just going to put the gasket on and put the inner clutch cover on. Okay, so here's the gasket. We're just going to put it on like so onto these dowel pins that are already on here. And it may not stay, so we might put a little bit of grease on there, but it looks like it might be okay. So now we're just going to take our clutch cover, and it's going to have to slip through that seal right there. The water pump is going to have to slip through there. I'm going to make sure I have all the things, all the pins and stuff lined up right here. Alright, so I got the case on. All the bolts are started in, so I'm just going to hit it with the impact until they seat, and then I'm going to torque them to 7 foot-pounds. to put the water pump impeller on and put the cover on, and there's also a metal plate that goes in between that. So we have a gasket, metal plate, another gasket, and then the cover. So I'll put that all on in a time lapse. Alright guys, here we go. Installing the clutch cover, the outer one that is. I already put the gasket on there. So now we can just screw these in by hand and then hit them with the impact. Alright, now I'm going to torque them to 7 foot-pounds. Alright guys, now for the flywheel cover. Just have the gasket that sits here. And it's not going to stay until I put the cover on. So I'm actually going to just use one bolt for now. I'm actually going to take the gasket and put it in the cover first. Alright, gasket's on. So we'll thread these in by hand and then we'll give them a final tighten with the impact. Alright, so I put in all 4 of the screws for the flywheel cover. I didn't hit them with the impact. Just to reduce the risk of stripping them, I used just a regular screwdriver. But then I also Loctited them, but I realized after I Loctited them that I'm going to have to pull the cover back off to attach the clutch cable later on the road. So, I mean, it doesn't matter though, I'll just pull it back off later and attach the clutch cable. But for now, to kind of seal up the engine and complete the bottom end, we're going to install this awesome little oil filler cap. Alright, that completes the bottom end. Alright, so that completes the bottom end build on the CR250 engine. Just this awesome trick little oil filler cap. We got all the Cerakote and stuff here. So now we're just waiting on the cylinder for the top end. I have the head all powder coated over here. Then I also have the piston and stuff over here for the top end. This is a Pro X piston. They're widely known to be very good pistons, so I went with them. And I guess I'm going to make a separate video on that. So, and there also is going to be another video with the shock restoration coming, so take a look out for that. And I guess that is it for this video. So hopefully in the next video I'll be restoring the shock, or I will be doing the top end and getting the motor in the frame over here. So hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.